This, I think, is an important principle. When we want to be rich, are we fighting God on this? Because we're not born rich. Well, if we're not born rich, maybe we're not supposed to be. Working 22 hours a day is not correct because you have to balance the condition, the value, the quality of your existence with the purpose for which it exists.
Hello, what's up everyone? It's your boy, the Crackhead, wishing you all a wonderful Friday afternoon. Pastor Dr. Abel Damina for some time have been trying to educate us about how we can be successful in life. That a Christian shouldn't depend on miracles in order to be successful. And your giving in church or tithe and offering does not bring about your prosperity. Even though this is coming from a rabbi, it is important that you pay attention to what Rabbi Friedman is talking about, because as Christians, as pagans, as Muslims, as long as you want to be successful on this planet, brothers and sisters, what you're about to listen to is the truth. Now, the video I watched on his channel on YouTube is about 30 minutes long, but it's divided into 3 sections. So for the purpose of those who may not really have data to watch from the beginning to the end, a 30 minutes video or even more, because of my analysis, I have decided to divide this video into 3 parts. The first part that you're watching right now talks about how you can give yourself time, your existence on this planet. A lot of people are, working 22 hours in order to make money, in order to become rich. Rabbi Friedman has made us to understand that even though you work for 22 hours and you are, struggling and striving to become successful, again, you're only existing. What about living? So that's the first part you're going to be listening to. And the second part is about the story of Elisha in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and the jar of oil. Now, Rabbi Friedman has been able to explain to us what that actually means when it comes to success and wealth. And the third one is going to be talking about wisdom, knowledge, and everything. The first part, the second part, and the third part is all directed towards, becoming successful, and the plan of God and the will of God towards us, His creation here on earth, as it comes to wealth and prosperity. So guys, please, let's pay attention as we watch and listen together to Rabbi Friedman.
And let's start with, I guess, the most important question for me is it okay to want to make a lot of money?
If you don't want to, it's not going to happen. You have to want for it to happen. Yes, we should all have very comfortable and very affluent lives so that we can ignore it and do good things.
Why ignore it?
Because it's only a means to an end. If we get too caught up in it, if we become too dependent on it, then it starts to work against us. So actually getting rich can be very depressing. You probably didn't want to hear that. Because generally speaking, when our existence is really comfortable, then we more desperately need to validate that existence with meaning. So the bigger our existence, the more value it has to have. So it's really good to have a great existence, but then the important thing is that that existence will demand meaning and validation, because it doesn't justify itself. So when you're poor and you're struggling and you think that if you make a couple of dollars, your life will get better, you're a little distracted. But once you're affluent, then you have to ask yourself, so my existence is good, now what? Because to be or not to be is equally bad. And that is not the question. The question is, if I be, why? If I exist, what for? That's a serious question. It's an urgent question. So if we get too devoted to the existence and forget the reason or the motivation or the meaning and so on, it just leads to depression.
That comes to a thing that's been bothering me for years, where it says that if you have 10, you'll want 20. If you have 20, you'll want 40. I know many people who have 100 million and they absolutely want 200 million. Is that your experience as well?
That's human nature, and that's probably a healthy instinct. But that doesn't mean that amassing a lot of material goods is the true meaning of wealth. It's interesting. If you feel that you're getting more than you deserve, your experience, your feeling, your reaction will be gratitude. I'm getting more than I deserve. I don't deserve this. Then the feeling is gratitude. I am grateful. If I think I'm getting what I deserve, well, that's just justice. I don't have to be grateful about that. But when I feel like I have more than I need, that is the feeling of wealth. And the feeling of wealth demands something. So if you have more than you need, and that feels rich, in the full sense of the word, what do you do with that? It's not an end. That's where we begin. Like in meditation, when Jews in the 70s were going off to India to meditate, and they would reach the highest level of bliss or nirvana, and they would feel so good, and they would say, "This is great. What do we do now?" And the guru said, "You don't do. Now you're there. Now you're happy." And they said, "Yeah, let's do something." And they said, "Go back to your tradition. You're not cut out for this." When we're doing great, that's when our life begins. That's not the conclusion. That's kickstarting our lives. So when you have abundance, then you can start living.
Let's talk about getting to financial abundance. The subject of the talk today is learning to make a lot of money, and I think about it as balancing emunah, histadlut, and bitachon. So let's start with just the definition of the three terms and how those three terms should be used to get to financial abundance, please.
Okay, the three are effort,
Emunah.
faith, and trust.
Okay.
Effort means we don't rely on miracles. Money will not come from heaven miraculously. You have to create an appropriate vessel for the blessing to settle into. It's like rain is not going to make anything grow if you haven't prepared the earth. If you haven't plowed it and you haven't put in the seeds, rain is a blessing, but by itself, it won't produce anything. So effort is necessary because God created the world in such a way that there's a partnership, that there's a meeting halfway. You do your share, he'll do his share. But if you don't do your share, we don't have the capacity to contain blessings unless we create a vessel for it. So effort is necessary, and it means simply we don't rely on miracles. Our job is to make the world function, not to have goodies come from some other world and ignore this world. So by making the vessel, by producing the conditions into which the blessing can come, we're elevating the world, we're giving it more structure, we're giving it more direction, purpose, and so on, and then God blesses those efforts with success. Faith means you know you can't do it yourself. That is like Sanity 101. The first thing is, I didn't create the world, it's not my world, and I can't make it happen. I can't make anything happen. And this is necessary for your sanity because you look at people who do everything wrong. They're not smart. They start a business, they do everything wrong, and they succeed. And you're doing everything right. And it's uphill all the way, at best. So obviously, it's not, we make the vessel that contains the blessing, but it's not cause and effect. There's no guarantee that if you push this button, you'll get that reaction. The world is not mechanical that way. It's a relationship. So yes, if we do our share, he'll do his share, but not instinctively. It's not like a trained animal. So will there be a response? Probably. Are you causing the response? Never. So faith means God will do whatever God feels is right. I will not be able to claim success as my right. Like, where is my success? I worked hard, where is my success? You can't demand it by right. That's emunah. So emunah means, as hard as I try, and as well as I do what I need to do, the blessing is voluntary on the part of God. If he decides, then it will be. If he has a better plan, then mine won't work. Now, trust means, if what I'm doing doesn't automatically produce a result on high, if there is no cause and effect, then why am I doing what I'm doing rather than anything else? So why go into the real estate business and not open a bakery and sell bagels? If what you do doesn't automatically and guaranteed results, then you have all these doubts. Well, then maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should be doing that. Trust means that you're confident that God will respond to your effort. Although you chose the effort, although you picked the business, you decided which vessel to create. Is that the right vessel? Is that the wrong vessel? You have to trust. If you make a vessel, God will respond. Out of goodness, out of generosity, out of kindness, and out of his desire to have a rich world. So this, I think, is an important principle. When we want to be rich, are we fighting God on this? Because we're not born rich. Well, if we're not born rich, maybe we're not supposed to be. Maybe he doesn't want us to be rich. So we're arguing with him, we're fighting with him, we're trying to twist his arm. What makes you so confident that he's going to let you be rich? And I think the best answer is, he wants you to be rich much more than you want to be. Because he made a big investment in creating this world. You didn't. You're here for a couple of years and then you're leaving. He's stuck with it. So who wants this world to succeed more? Of course, the Creator. It's his project. He wants us to be healthy. He wants us to be successful because he wants his world to work at peak performance. So you're not fighting God. It's not like you want to be rich and he doesn't want you to, and you have to outsmart him. So you trust that he will give you the blessing, not because he owes it to you, but because he's more interested in it than you are. That's called bitachon.
I find that some people use bitachon or emunah as a crutch for laziness. So they say, hey, if God wants me to be rich, I'll be rich. And I only need to work 1 hour, or it's okay if I miss the meeting, or if it's okay if I'm running late. Everything that should be will be, and therefore I don't need to stress it.
Well, if you want to be rich and you open a little candy store, maybe that's what you call rich, and that's all you're going to get. If you create a small vessel, then you'll get a small blessing that fits the vessel. You want a bigger blessing, create a bigger vessel. God is not going to force feed you. You're not going to force money in through your window. You want more money, open the window. Make a bigger window. So the response from God is according to your capacity. If you don't have the capacity to handle wealth, He's not going to give it to you because it's going to destroy you. So if you're thinking small, He'll give you small, because otherwise it'll overwhelm you. You want more, well then think big. Thinking big means you do attend the meeting. You do make the investment. You do make the effort. If you're going to sit back and have a little vessel, fine, you'll make a living.
On the other side, though, working 22 hours a day is not correct.
Working 22 hours a day is not correct because you have to balance the condition, the value, the quality of your existence with the purpose for which it exists. So if you're putting in 22 hours a day just in getting your existence comfortable, when are you going to attend to the purpose and the meaning and the value of that existence? So you've got to balance your time with getting rich and knowing what to do with it. You're spending all your time getting rich, and where's it going? Some rabbi asked one of his congregants, "Do you have time to study?" He said, "No, I have no time to study. I have to work, I have to make a living." He said, "Why?" He says, "To send my kid to yeshiva." So the rabbi said, everyone I ask tells me the same thing. Who is this kid that everyone is trying to send to yeshiva? And when that kid grows up, is he going to come and tell me that he's too busy to study because he has to send his kid to yeshiva? When are we going to get to the punchline? So if everybody is working full time to make it possible to go to yeshiva and nobody actually goes, what are we doing? So you make your life, your existence better. You establish yourself comfortably so that you can live a life. But then you have no time for it because you put 22 hours into. Where is your life? Where is that happening? And in very simple language, you put in a long day at work and then you come home. What is home to you? A break from life? This is where you can collapse and chill out. Or when you come home, this is where your life happens. At work, that's where your existence takes shape. So if you don't have time and energy and interest in the life because you're putting 22 hours into the existence, you're going to get depressed.
So guys, you've heard the part one of that video from Rabbi Manis Friedman. Honestly, these are the kind of things we should be watching on social media, especially if you're that kind of person that wants to improve yourself. You want to know the secrets and the principles of getting rich or of becoming productive for yourself. And now as a Christian, you know that stressing yourself at work 22 hours, 12, 14 hours is not good for you. As much as you're making the money, to which home are you going to go to enjoy that money? Are you actually living or you are existing? If Facebook is not going to be flagging this video for copyright or for what any other reason, I'm going to be posting the part 2 of this video. Otherwise, feel free to go on YouTube and visit Rabbi Manis Friedman's page, and you will get the knowledge Rabbi Friedman has to share. It's your boy, the Crackhead, wishing you all a wonderful day. Bye for now.